Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So my name is Muhammad Qayyum Hakim Azwandi bin Muhammad Rahim, and my group is Nur Muhammad Ihsan and Muhammad Aziz bin Muhammad Nizam. So I want to present about lost form casting. So we go through the objective. Is to gain a general understanding of the lost form casting process, and to develop or design a gating system, to determine the hot polystyrene pattern design. Product flows are examined as are the causes and solutions. To learn about the molten metal process in a crucible furnace. To decide on a basic or advanced design for lost form casting. Okay, so for additional theory, lost form casting is a method of creating complex metal pieces and parts in which molten metals evaporates through a form mold that is still being held by the sun. The process begin with a polystyrene form mold that can be curved, machined, and molted. Polystyrene can be canned, machined, and mold casting, also known as a lost form casting, has advantage and disadvantage that one influenced by a variety of factors. So we go through the factors. So the first one is the amount spent on casting supplies that was wasted. This demonstrated by the cost of developing the mold and design. So the second one is the type of material that can be used as well as the pattern and mold that can be used. The next is the amount of energy molded to complete the lost form casting piece process efficiently, as well as the cast per unit produced. So the last one is the amount of casting that must be produced by the foundry during the method. So the equipment in lost form casting, we have a mold box or like a white bucket. The function is the metal casting facility where the product is made. So the next is mold descent. Mold descent is from me is the important things in a lost form casting, because sand used to make the mold and will be poured into mold box. So the second one for the lost form casting, we have a polystyrene block, where the polystyrene we used to transform into variety of design to use as the design that will transfer to mold box. So the next one is shovel. The shovel we used to transfer the molten sand into a mold box. Other equipment is a knife. Knife we used to cut polystyrene into the correct shape. And we have a bench romper to compact the molder in the mold box and ensure the polystyrene during held properly. And the last, not the last, the second last one is a credible furnace. Uh, Credible furnace as a medium for melting metals. We used to transfer melted metal into the mold box. So the last one is pen styrofoam cutter. We use this thing to cut the polystyrene to the design that engrove on the polystyrene. We used to cut the difficult corner of the design. So we go through the procedure. The procedure is prepare the product model from the polystyrene. We need to draw and shape the polystyrene. Uh, and use the polystyrene. We shape what we want. So the next, we join the gating system of polystyrene metal using glue and let the joint dry. So after the shape was dry, on a polystyrene, put the polystyrene model into the mold box. Sorry. So after we have cut the polystyrene, for the second step, we go through the put the polystyrene model into the mold box and pack the pattern with silica sand. Alright. So the next is after the polystyrene in the mold board was filled, we flatten out the silica sand using unused polystyrene fractions or bench rammer. So the next step is pour the molten metal through the sprue. And the last one is allow the part to cool and remove the metal part from the mold. So at last we can see our product is follow our design on polystyrene, uh, where not a perfect one, but also have defects. But it's okay. The product need to have a finishing process. And yeah, for the workpiece, I have shown in a report. So we go through the observation. So based on the observation obtained from this lost form workshop, is that when the molten metal is poured into the mold, the polystyrene form pattern will evaporate and disappear. Our workpiece has several defects. Among them are blowholes. In addition, there is sand inclusion, which is a kind of metal casting defect. It looks like a small or middle holes with a sand grain in the internal or on the surface of casting. If the sand molds or cores have been overbanked, then their surface will become more fragile because the adhesive will lose its thickness, which will cause some sand inclusion defects. Finally, the defects found on the workpiece are pinholes. Uh, these pinholes occur because molten metals absorb hydrogen or carbon monoxide gas. So for the first question is highlight the defects that you could find in your casting product. So I go to the answer for this question. Several faults are recognized when the workpiece is withdrawn from the sand and can be avoided during the molten metal casting process. Blowholes were discovered among the flows because the condition of the transmit utilized is too delicate. This occurs. The best way to avoid this penetration was the second flaw discovered. And now the best way to avoid this is to utilize the appropriate grain size. Metal penetration was the second flaw discovered. Sand grains fall on the metal surface during the molten metal casting process, causing this. Step to avoiding this flaw, pinholes were the third flaw discovered. It happens when molten metal absorb hydrogen or carbon monoxide gas during the pouring operation into a mold. The most critical step to avoid is ensuring that molten metal flows freely throughout the casting process, which necessitates the molting of the polystyrene form pattern. So for the discussion, we have the first one is the channels via which molten metal flows to the die cavity are referred to as a gating system. Its main goal is to ensure that it flows smoothly and completely from the ladle to the mold cavity. It is critical to have a well-designed gating system in order to obtain excellent castings. The last discussion is lost form casting is a simple process that produce high dimensional precision. It also has flash protection. Castings, on the other hand, are often weaker and take a longer to make than other process. For the conclusion is various effects or process parameters such as melting treatment, packing material, and the EPS from Destiny model on the porosity in lost form casting or aluminium alloy were explained at the conclusion of the lost form casting process. The highest density was discovered as the top of the bar. um, there was no consistent relationship between resolution and the density of the EPS forms speed density because the pattern of the pyrolysis of polystyrene formed during pouring in lost form casting. It is a source of the pore that can be divided into two factors: um, turbulence the the flow of molten metal and entraining gas from the pattern. So that's all from my presentation about lost form casting in our group. So thank you.